All right, everybody, welcome back again to the KSR YouTube channel, where we are at the Freedom Factory, and it's time for Danger Rangers again.
Why are you here?
Because I want to win another Danger Race.
This is where the fastest person is allowed to be. The slow people got to go back over there.
Wow.
Because I'm the fastest person.
Well, you know why you were the fastest, right?
Because you were here.
That's right. So Eddie came down yesterday to practice, and I had planned to be here early enough today to also practice, but then on the way down, girlfriend was riding with me because it's just how it worked out. Because I worked yesterday. Eddie took off from work. Dang part-timer.
Wow, I'll work you in my sleep.
So we're on our way down here, driving the Audi, and she sees that SUV for sale online, but it was in Orlando. So we drove over to Orlando instead of coming. It basically made me like 4 hours late by the time we got all of that done, and now she's got an SUV she can drive, which is kind of cool. So it's actually time for qualifying, which will be my first laps in the truck. Eddie took it out for practice to shake it down, and had some difficulties.
Yeah, I don't know where you put your legs in that truck, but I can't fit mine. I can't figure it out. Like, you 2-foot it, right? So
yeah.
My left foot is literally like this. Like, to come off the brakes, my left foot's like this. To the point where my foot started to hurt. And I was like, yeah, I'm done driving this thing.
Sounds like excuses.
Pretty much.
Real race car drivers just figure it out.
I'm still faster than you, though.
Who's got the track record, though?
That's different. Different air. Different
Yeah,
air.
this is better air.
No.
100%.
No, you did it. All right, maybe.
Yeah, this is way better air for sure. All right, well, time for qualifying. Oh, and Ricky crashed again.
No, it won't hit me.
All right, everybody, it's time for qualifying. Big shout out to everybody that's been watching our channel for a long time. We certainly appreciate it. We got some exciting stuff happening in 2026, and excited to bring you guys along. Also, an extra shout out to all of our channel members and supporters. You guys are really awesome. So let's go see if we can qualify this thing on the pole. All right, y'all, about time to qualify. Set the track record last qualifying. But I don't know if we got it in. We had different tires on back then. Kevin Smith, 17,963. Coming down to our final few qualifiers, and he is the man that swept both Danger Ranger events last year.
All right, let's see what JH can do.
Previous non-Danger Ranger.
Actually, I need to save camera.
All right, P2 behind JH, which I'm pretty happy with that. Still cracked into the 17s. Was only getting 3 laps today, so pretty happy about that. Eddie ended up 3rd, which is cool. And he was ahead of me until my last lap. And then I squeaked around him on my 3rd lap. So it's just an extra little dig at him. So, hey bud, what happened?
So you see what happened was I practiced on my tires and you didn't.
Oh, okay.
You had fresher tires than me, so like,
yeah,
you know.
But you had 100 laps of practice and I had 3.
56. You don't need practice. How many laps on this track do you have versus me?
This year? Way less than you.
No, I'm not talking about this year. You did what? 50 laps in the kidney bean?
Maybe, I don't know.
Or in Les Mullets?
Yeah, that doesn't count. It's a different track.
Of course it does.
It's a different track. It's
Freedom
different layout.
500.
Yeah.
Right.
That was over a year ago.
Yeah, so can it.
That was totally
You
last
can't.
year.
I forgot it's January. No, I actually, in all seriousness, I'm gonna be real. I'm the YouTuber now. Oh, no.
I told you I didn't feel comfortable.
Oh, did you get that on film?
No. Right, I'm the YouTuber now. So what had happened was, right, I couldn't get my tires warm enough in that time frame because, you know, I'm trying to think of something stupid to say. Yeah, but anyway, they're a lot better at doing that than I am. So. Good job. Jade still beat you, so you suck.
He also had way more laps of practice than me today, too.
That's not an excuse, Kevin.
It is.
You've
It
run
is.
so
That's the
many
excuse
laps.
I'm using.
You've run so many laps in that Ranger. That's zero excuse.
It's his story. He'll stick to it.
It's a new setup that I don't have. I had 0 laps in prior to qualifying today. New setup.
I set that up for him.
All right, so they've inverted the top 9. So that means I start in position 8. Eddie's in 7.
Position 7, which means
So-
I'm inside, you're outside.
And JH is behind you.
Yeah. So we gonna shake a big.
We're going to stay ahead of JH?
Yeah.
Woo!
Woo! I'm fired up right now. I'm so ready for this.
Yeah, it's time to go racing. Here we go. All right, well, let's get this race underway. You can see I'm starting in 8th place outside of Eddie. We're coming down to the green flag, and I'm going to do a little bit of voiceover on and off here. I won't do it for every single minute of the video, but I'm going to do quite a bit. And as you're going to see here, they leave me a gap, and I send this thing right up through the middle. And yeah, I'm leading by the exit of turn 2. Not sure I could pull that off again if I tried, but that was awesome. And I'm already thinking, holy smokes, wasn't expecting that to happen, but okay, let's do this. And then we get back over here and the yellow lights come on and they throw a caution. So I had to show you guys full screen versions of both the outside of the truck and inside the truck. So that's what it looks like from, you know, my Insta360 mounted right under my mirror. And then I've got the one camera in the bottom right that's facing back at me. And then we've got kind of the dash camera looking forward. It's actually the same camera, just 2 different clips there. And that's kind of how this playback is going to go of the race. We're going to talk about the exciting things. But, you know, at this point, you know, I'm seeing the lights and I'm thinking, well, I think I got to the start-finish line before the caution lights came on, but
it's time to get the Danger Ranger 9000 presented by our friends at PDS Stead. We are green from the Freedom Factory, and they're already 3 wide, headed down into turn number 1. Kevin Smith up the middle. Smith is going to go from 8th to 1st on the first lap. Unbelievable. Kevin Smith up the middle of the racetrack. We've got a truck around in the middle of the backstretch. And what a start. Oh, and we got a truck around here on the front straightaway. Contact to the outside wall. And the yellow flag is coming out. But looks like he is able to continue on. But what a start for Kevin Smith. Oh boy. Hearing that the yellow flag was called before the start, because you have to be able to complete a lap in order for it to count. And they are not going to take that initial start. It is going to be a complete restart. So all that work that Kevin Smith did on that first lap to go 8 to first is going to all be for naught, and he's going to have to try to do it again.
Well, so they sent me back to 8th. And I'm thinking, okay, well, I've seen what all I can do here. And you see me fire off, and then all of a sudden I go backwards. Well, like you're going to see just a second here from the onboard, I shift the thing into neutral. I normally go from first to second, and instead I went third to neutral. And that's kind of on me. And then I end up getting into a wreck with Tyler and I know Cooper, Ben Cooper, I think maybe was the guy in the white truck. And Tyler and Ben had gotten together, and it kind of checked up Tyler. And when I went to go around the outside of Tyler, my truck got loose, and I end up kind of sliding down into Tyler, which you'll see here. So first part of the incident was kind of just a racing deal, which you might have seen on the replay there, where they got together and got him sideways. But had I not missed the gear, here I am searching for the gear. What the heck? Let's go. Why am I getting past? Oh, this is not good. Blah, blah, blah. But then you'll see Tyler in the white truck make contact here. Oop, Tyler moves up. I end up in the loose stuff, slide down into him, and yeah, that one's kind of my fault. I'm not going to lie. You know, I hate being the cause of a wreck, but inevitably, there's going to be a wreck that we're responsible for. And even Tyler came up after the race and apologized. I'm like, I don't think that one was totally you. It might have been a little bit you from, just moving up a little bit, but honestly, it was more me. And when I saw him coming up, I scrubbed the brakes. And when I did that, it hooked left. Left side tires were in a little bit better part of the racetrack. And also, for this race, I blocked off my right front brake line. So, yeah, I'm not going to do that again, because basically every time I touched the brakes, it tried to swap ends. Now, on a lap just by myself, I don't use the brakes. I use just the car or the truck turning into the corner to slow it down, and that's how I make the corners. Well, when you have no right front brake, or when you're not using the brakes, if you can completely eliminate the drag of the right front brake, it's going to go faster. But if you need the brakes, as we often do here, and I should have known better, honestly. Eddie said he thought that was a risky move. He was right. So during some of these cautions, I noticed that I was not hearing anything through my receiver, my race receiver, which is a little radio they give us with ear speakers, little earbuds. And Ryan talks to us to tell us, how to line up, caution flag, red flag. He gives us kind of a heads up. Basically, as soon as you see the yellow lights come on, he's in our ear telling us all what's going on with the track. Well, after that wreck with Tyler and I, they said that I could take my position back, but I didn't hear any of this, and I was kind of aggravated about, kind of feeling like I caused a wreck. That I'm like, you know what? I don't deserve to be up here at the front of this thing anyway. And I just decided I would restart in the back. And while this is all going on, I'm trying to think about why my race receiver is not working. Well, as it turns out, when I put it into, I clipped it to the seat belts, kind of between the seat belt and my chest. And when I did that, I think I changed the channel. So, definitely my fault. But here on one of the other cautions, I take it out, and it's got a little protective sleeve kind of thing that has a clip on it to clip it to the seat belts. Well, when I take it out to inspect it, I managed to drop it on the floor. I try picking it up from the earbuds, and it ends up pulling the cord out of it. So now the thing is flying around in the bottom of the truck, and I've got to figure out how I'm going to get it back. But I figured that, after the crash, I was lucky that the truck still felt like it tracked pretty straight. I knew Tyler had gotten into my left side a little bit, but I felt like the hit on the white truck was pretty square on the front bumper. And I was hearing the front tires scrub the front bumper a little bit as I was turning. So, I kind of knew that I obviously had bumper damage, and I was hoping that the tire was still going to last the race. And I figured I could probably get back up into the top 5, at least by the end of the race. We were still less than 10 laps into the race when all that went down. So I start kind of coming back through the field, picking through, and some of these passes are already lapped trucks because JH and I forget who the 7 truck was. Hold on, I'm gonna bust out my phone and look at the live scoring. I'll get everybody's name here just a second. All right, so it was Braden Cooper in the number 71 white and green truck, and then Chad Lower and JH, as well as Ty, and I think Eddie are all up making laps ahead of me, and I'm trying to reel them in because I started pretty much dead last. And one of the things that we need to polish up a little bit more on as racers is some of these guys on the restarts were leaving very large gaps to the truck ahead of them. And I mean, the way I've always been kind of taught and heard when we go to these professional races like Trans Am and Champ Car and other series that we do, they want you within a car length of the vehicle ahead of you on restarts. And that just makes for more exciting racing, which, in this world could possibly be, possibly where you end up wrecking into each other. But anyways, right here we got another caution, and I guess I had made it all the way up to 3rd because I'm directly behind JH, and I was trying to creep up on him so that he wouldn't be able to get a huge jump on me, and right as I bumped him, he took off and got a really good start. But I got by Chad in 2nd place, but because we didn't finish a lap, I had to go back to 3rd for the restart that is coming here in just a second. Well, actually, yeah, here's me fishing for that camera, and you'll end up seeing that I loosened my shoulder belts all the way up so that I could slide them off. And I could tell that this caution was going to take a little while, which is why I went ahead and did it. And I kind of leave a big gap around me so that I can kind of keep an eye on things and make sure I'm not about to run into anybody under caution. Not the smartest thing I've ever done, but I really wanted to have my receiver so I could hear what was going on the radio. And I end up finding it with my left foot and fishing it over to the transmission tunnel and pushing it up the transmission tunnel with my left foot and reaching down and grabbing it with my right foot. Now, if we had lined up and gone back green, I would have either thrown my belts back on and kept going, or I would have had to have pulled over and put my belts back on before I started racing again. Here, sliding the belts off. That's how bad I wanted this doggone receiver so that I could hear the radio communications. And sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. And thankfully, the belts that I have in my truck, they loosen and they tighten really efficiently. They're a set of endurance road racing belts out of one of the Vipers or out of my Lexus road race car. I don't remember. But I finally found it. Yay, excited, Kevin. And you'll see me here in a second. First I get my belts back on so I can at least maybe restart the race, even if I've got to hold the thing in my hand for a few laps till the next caution. But, and actually I had been looking for this thing during the other cautions earlier too, and I had kind of found it, but I was never able to get to it and get it shimmied up to where I could get my hand on it. But when I do pick it up, I see that it is on the wrong channel. And earlier when I dropped it on the floor, I tried to pick it up by the cord, and it didn't work. It pulled the cord right out of the radio and then left me with the cord in my hand. So had to do what I had to do to find this thing, and I managed to get it all plugged back in, shove it in my shirt, and then I can hear the radio for the rest of the race, and that was fantastic. So it worked out really well because, you know, being able to hear when we were going back green, also whenever there was wrecks on the track, where to line up, catch up with the pace car, you know, all those little things. They're important to be able to hear when you're in the truck, and that's just kind of a thing for you guys to see that happens, which I didn't know if you knew that we had a radio like that. And these are only one-way communication. So Ryan can talk to all of us, but we cannot talk back to him. So that's, you know, kind of how all that's working out. And now that I've got everything situated, we're going to pull the belts tight, flip the visor down, and literally we're going through, I think we're going down the back straightaway right now, getting ready to come to green. You see that right there? You see that? You see what happened?
See what?
Putting my radio, fixing my radio.
Yeah, you need that. You need that. They were actually yelling on our radio, KSR spotter, tell them, but we're not allowed spotters, and I'm normally your spotter, and I'm thinking to myself, what are you doing, Kevin? Get up there, what are you doing? But I couldn't yell at him.
Yeah. There was a clip where you rear-ended me, and I waved politely.
Wave. Single finger wave.
I told you were number one.
Yeah.
But anyways, we fire off again, and JH makes a little mistake in that previous corner. If you back it up, he bobbles a little as he comes back to the throttle, and I didn't get fully beside him, but he left me a lane underneath him, and we, you know, good clean race here, no contact, nice pass, and then maybe the reason he got loose is because his right rear tire was going down, because in this corner, he spins out, and they throw the caution flag for him. And in the truck at this point, I can't tell that it's him that caused the caution. And I don't think that I got back to the start-finish line, so I'm thinking I'm going to be in second place, and I've got to pass him again. But, as it works out, he was the reason for the caution, so he doesn't get his position back. And I had also crossed the start-finish line as the leader before they threw the caution. And now I've got my boy Eddie behind me, and he's about to see how you drive a race truck.
Nah,
Well,
I'm driving the race truck. You see that beautiful blue? Yeah, second. I was in third, and I'm about to take that second place. Look at that. Give me that, boy. Second place. That's mine.
Meanwhile, I'm driving away.
All right, settle down. I'm coming for you. You just wait. I'm coming.
Yep, so through this middle part of the race, we end up putting down a ton of laps. And I don't remember how many it was right here, but it was a lot. And I could see that I wasn't really pulling away. And I'm also thinking that, all right, I know the longer a green flag run goes, the hotter the tires are going to get, and the more likely this thing is going to be able to want to slide on corner exit. That's where I was having an issue. Eddie said the same thing. JH said the same thing, and I could see it in JH's truck from the last race. Like, he started getting loose on corner exit. So part of me is trying to be easy to save the tires, and I feel like it's the right rear tire, at least the way I drive my truck. It's my right rear tire that gets hot, and then the truck does not want to stay stuck to the track. And if you lose momentum in these things and the truck behind you doesn't, that's basically how I got by JH. Like, he slipped a little on corner exit, and then I didn't, and I had a run on him, and then I was able to get, beside him, and then was able to power by him in the next corner. So at this point, we're trying to pick through traffic, and I'm hoping that I can keep Eddy behind me, and maybe he'll have a harder time getting through traffic than I do.
Which I did. Yeah, so like the difference between me and Kevin is I can put down pretty good lap times, close to what he can put down, but he's a lot better in race situations than I am because he has so much experience in, endurance road racing. He can go through traffic a lot easier, and he can plan out the moves he's going to make, whereas I just make them, So you can see that here he kind of gaps out on me where I'm getting held up, which is not their fault, but more so my fault of not planning my moves strategically. And he can get really good pace in traffic, whereas it slows me down a lot. So when we had clear track, I feel like I was catching up to him a little bit, but then as soon as we catch lapped cars, I lose it from him a bit. So, yeah, but luckily we have a caution coming up here, and I'm going to make it all back.
Yeah, I think there's a caution. Yep,
right
there it is. Wow, you called that one just right. So, yeah, at this point, I can see what we both have. I know I was not quite 100% because, the saving the tire thing. But I know me being right in front of him with a couple of laps to go, he's going to get pretty well motivated. So we're coming down to, I believe, 13 laps to go for this last restart. You can see Eddy out on my outside now. And I know that his truck is a manual truck because, I gave him some help in building the thing. And my truck is an automatic. And one thing that helps my truck out on restarts is to actually roll a pretty quick restart if I'm just going to let it stay in second gear. So that's what I do. And I think he has to shift from second to third with how he has his truck geared. And now I get to jump on him, and I'm back out ahead of him again. And I will say that, the leader, everybody thinks that the leader gets a jump. Well, the leader should get the jump because the leader coming into the restart is who actually starts the race again. It's not the flag man waving the green flag. It's once we cross the first yellow stripe in turn, I think it's basically directly between turn 3 and 4. And then by the time you get to the end of turn 4, there's another yellow stripe. And if you haven't gone by that point, the leader hasn't fired off, then the flag man controls the race, and it's kind of on him from there. So you can see I kind of gap out a little bit on Eddy here at the beginning of the run. And I can kind of feel that my right front is not super happy. Let's just leave it at that. So we almost end up wrecking here with our boy Ricky, who ran out of gas. And, I can't pick on him because I almost ran out of gas, which is kind of my own fault because just wasn't super prepared, as far as keeping my truck all ready to go. And I got to, say big shout out to Eddy for taking care of me while I was running around helping my girlfriend buy that, buy that SUV. But, he took care of the truck for me, got me all there. He actually took out and practiced my truck at the first practice of Saturday to kind of shake it down with that new setup in it. And, had he not done that, he might not have been able to pull off the win. I don't know. So it's kind of a team win, one, here we are racing for the finish of this thing and dealing through traffic. And like he mentioned earlier, I feel like, and I think he feels like too, that I get through traffic better than he does. And maybe a little bit of that is I just will it to be. I put my truck in places where I make a judgment call on where I think the other truck is going. And I just, kind of play the odds on if they go the direction I think they're going to go, I'm in the clear. If they do something different, I'm going to have to make an adjustment. And sometimes I think about the adjustment. You kind of, it's like playing, 80 mile an hour chess. Like you're trying to figure out where and what people are going to do and kind of plan and all that good stuff. And you can see he reeled me right back in once we got through traffic. And I know how hard it is to get around someone cleanly when we're racing these things, and I'm hoping he's going to race me clean. So I'm probably leaving a tiny bit of lap time on the table just to try and be safe and not get the truck super sideways. But you'll see I have a few counter steer moments. If you watch the bottom right hand corner, when I turn left to go into the corner, and then when I turn right to keep the truck under me, that's when the tail end of the truck is sliding. So anyways, we're coming down to the checkered flag right here. We're going to switch to Ricky's camera. Woo! Win for Kevin, second for Eddy. Yeah!
Well, Freedom Factory Victory Lane is going to be the dead center of the burnout pad right now. And a driver that is no stranger to Victory Lane here at the Freedom Factory. Give it up for your winner, the 78 Kevin Smith. Kevin gets another Bald Eagle trophy. And congratulations, sir. You are now a 3-time Danger Ranger winner, but you didn't work for that one. It was going to be a good battle between you and James, but trouble over there in turns 3 and 4 for him with the right rear tire. You were able to take advantage of it. But man, Eddy was pressuring you on those late race restarts, but I want to know about that move on that initial start. 8th to 1st was pretty impressive.
Yeah, I got pretty lucky on that. There was a gap that opened up, and I was like, all right, y'all have to know I'm going through it. So I shot through there, and it was like second, third, and then I got to lay the first lap, and they sent me to the back. And my race receiver was on the wrong channel, so I was never hearing the things. And then I pulled it out to reset it, dropped it on the floor, and then could not get it back. Like, if you guys saw me looking down in the truck for like the whole middle part of the race, like all the way until I passed the edge, I was trying to find my race receiver, get it plugged back in so I could hear what was going on. And then, yeah, it was a good battle with JH. Kind of found myself like, I saw there was a caution, didn't know it was him. And then, there he is.
There he is. And we'll get a word from him in a second.
Yeah, it's going to be a really good race for medium. We've been fighting through almost all of these races. And Austin's seen a little right there in my rear. I think he sabotaged me though, because the last like 5 laps, I was fuel starving, and he put fuel in my truck. So...
Funny how that works, right?
I saw him coming, and I was trying to save a little bit of fuel, and he was right there on me. I was like, oh, this is not good. And then I got some traffic, and it kind of worked into my favor. You couldn't get up to me in there coming out of the last corner. But it was fuel starving every exit for the last like 3, 4, 5 laps.
Well, good to see you back in Victory Lane. Great way for you to get 2026 started. We've got a great year planned, and we're hoping to have you be a part of a lot of this this year.
I'm looking forward to it. All you guys remember is be like Jeff, whether no matter what you got to do to be nice to somebody, doesn't matter who it is, somebody you don't even know. Be nice to somebody, try to make their day better. Even just smiling at somebody might make their day better. It might make their day better. So let's all be like that.
Absolutely. Your Danger Ranger winner here today. Eddy Elder. Let's get a couple of quick words here. I want to talk to Eddy first real quick. What was going through your head there on those late race restarts? As you were right there, you know that truck had some speed, but you didn't have enough to get around it.
I thought I did, but there in the end, I think it was just a battle of who could keep their truck straight and not sideways. I was waiting on him to go sideways so I could just go on there, but he kept it together. I got a lesson for him. Put your own damn fuel in next time.
Hey, fifth place last year, runner-up tonight. You're going to love that.
Yeah, I think some of that has to do with Jay's not finishing, but I mean, you know, part of it is finishing the race, which it was hard to. You know, there were some times where I could have sent it on the middle, and I didn't because I wanted to finish, and I was right there behind him, but I just couldn't get him. I'll get him next time.
Good run here for Eddy Elder, bringing it home in second tonight. Great run by the 99 truck.
Let's go!
I saw you coming, and I'm like, dude,
I got the gap close on you, and I'm just waiting for him to make it. That was freaking awesome. You know where
we're going to get paid.
I'm going to get paid. I got a check for $1,000.
Hey, they asked me though if your check should be made out to me.
Absolutely not. Actually, not gonna lie, I owe the shop over $1,000.
So maybe we should just make it out to me.
Just keep it. Damn it.
Yes. Big win for me tonight. But yeah, that was awesome. And Ricky had a pretty good shot. I don't know what all he got there at the end with us in the middle, so I don't know what I'm editing behind here or filming behind. But that was epic racing. And through the middle, while Eddy was figuring his out, like I was a little bit on cruise control, and then he got it like after the restart, it was on, and I was not driving away from him anymore. So, which at the end, my truck was fuel starving, which was not ideal.
I was
so,
definitely like,
I mean, I just need to put some more
and it was
fuel
like
in
an
it.
eighth of a tank. I was definitely worried.
Yeah, mine was well below an eighth of a tank. So,
and then like I feel like the middle laps, like I feel like we were on lap 20 and then immediately on lap 45. I don't know.
Well, that middle segment, we put some laps down finally.
Yeah.
So, whew, that was awesome.
That
I think we'll go watch the Ultimate race for a little while. It's kind of getting chilly. Like, I'm glad I got my suit on.
Yeah. Except my suit's wet from sweat. So.
From you peed on yourself?
No.
Oh.
Maybe.
All right. Well, I think that'll wrap it up for this video. Awesome start to 2026 for us. Hopefully, get a few more of these throughout 2026. Need a few more of those Bald Eagle trophies. And
So close to one of those. I want one of those so bad.
I was concerned. I'll say that I was concerned. So
I gotta figure out my hop on exit.
yeah.
And like just exit better, figure that out, and then I'm coming for y'all.
Gotcha. All right. Well, that's it for this video. See you guys next time.